Hey, it's me again. All right. So we're on shelf number 2 now. Also, I'll have to do another one where it's like, because I got some collector's editions up there. There's not that many. But I'll have to do one later on that. But let's get right into this shit. So, next up, so we left off at Jesus Christ, Black Swan, Blood Diamond. Like I said, professing my love for Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh my god, him and his Australian accent. And Jaimin Hansu, if I'm pronouncing that right. Does anyone notice he almost yells every one of his lines in this movie? Either way, a great movie, and a great movie with like an actual message behind it. It's not like an action movie for the sake of being an action movie. Like, it's got a cool little thing going on there. I really like the movie. Next up, Blue Valentine. Ryan Gosling, who is also becoming a really one of my favorite actors. This is just one of the most depressing. It says a love story, but it's not. It's one of the most depressing movies of the last couple of years. Just about people who fall out of love. It's kind of like Revolutionary Road, but less artsy, very gritty, kind of like that. And this, I don't know who's watching this. Probably people around this area. I'm in Maine right now, New England. These movies are a fucking cultural, like, started almost like a cultural revolution here. Not really, I'm really overselling it. But these movies are huge. The Boondock Saints in Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, areas like that, New England. These movies are huge. Like, they have, I mean, every Spencer's store has tons of these. I wonder if it's like that elsewhere, like, because I know they're huge here. They have a real cult following, cult status. But these movies, I love these movies. Bob Marley, for anyone who knows him, he plays Detective Greenlee, I believe, in the movie. He comes up and does comedy shows all the time. He's a funny guy. I've met him. Really nice guy. It's just amazing how these films made like nothing, like less than $1 million when they were released. Well, this one anyway, when it was released in theaters, and then just became like this huge video cult. Got this cult following and became like this, blew up, fucking just exploded onto the scene, and it's cool because I mean these have such a nice tone, like where they're like almost like a Pulp Fiction-y type, where it's like comedy and violent all at the same time, but they're really enjoyable characters. If you haven't seen these, check these out. See if you like them. They might not mean as much to you just because you're not from the area. I don't know. I don't know if it's the area or what, but for some reason these movies are really big here. So it's the first in the sequel. Boondock Saints, I really enjoyed them. I live in Maine, and I drove to Massachusetts to see the second one just because I was so anticipating it. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but they're good movies. They are. I like them. Freedom! It's Braveheart. This guy may be a douche in real life, but fuck can he act. Another thing, I can't really remember off. Yeah, okay, so Mel Gibson hadn't been in anything since Signs, and then there was like this huge thing, like he was coming back, and then he did Edge of Darkness. Why? Why did he do that? I thought he was gonna like that. It was gonna be like a big comeback, but he did that. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just like okay, whatever. But anyway, Braveheart. If you haven't seen it, I mean, you should. It's the Sapphire series. I love this series. It's got like the American Beauty, Forrest Gump, Gladiator. I mean, some really good Best Picture winners from Paramount, Saving Private Ryan. And they deliver it. The picture quality and audio is fucking reference quality. It's beautiful. Just a really good movie. I like Braveheart. Alright, this one's Danielle's. It's the Brave one. I liked it. It wasn't bad. I haven't seen it in a while since it came out. But it's just her going around just vigilante style, killing people, beating them down. Terrence Howard is in this. He always looks like he's about to cry. I like him as an actor. It's weird, like, then because he started, like, all these prestigious, like, Crash and movies that, like, really garnered him a lot of attention. Hustle and Flow, he got a Best Actor nomination. But do you remember back he was the bad guy in Big Mama's House? Does anybody remember that? That's fucking amazing. Makes me laugh every time I think about it. But anyway, The Brave One, not a bad movie. A movie that, I mean, everyone has heard about. Bridesmaids. In my opinion, and I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash and a lot of people who think I'm wrong, but in my opinion, I thought Horrible Bosses was the funniest comedy last year. But I'm hugely biased because that movie literally features like 3 of my favorite TV actors. But I did think this was funny as hell. And Albeit I don't believe it's revolutionary. I do think it's a step in the right direction for female comedy. It's a fucking hilarious movie. Everyone in this shines. I mean, Melissa McCarthy's the obvious, but Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, and Rose Byrne all are amazing in it. It's a really funny movie if you haven't seen it. It's a movie that you, and if you're, to be honest, it's more, I don't want to say it's geared more for guys, but it's, I thought when I originally saw it that a lot of women wouldn't find that comedy funny. But I was wrong, obviously, because it was a huge success, and I'm really glad. But it's a movie that you and your girlfriend can watch and both laugh the exact same amount. It's not a piece of shit romantic comedy or something like that. It's funny. It's good. The next one is a pretty damn good drama. It's got Tobey Maguire screaming a lot, and that's always cool. Why's that cool? Natalie Portman, I love her. Natalie Portman. But anyway, it's Brothers. This was a pretty damn good movie. I say that about everything. I guess just because it's the movies that I own. There are plenty of movies that I think are pretty shitty movies, but regardless, this is a pretty cool family drama. It's just the dynamics between a family and how they react to a certain situation. Basically, Tobey Maguire's character gets gunned down, and they're believed he's dead in the Iraq War. And so Natalie Portman and his brother, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, start a relationship, and then it turns out that he's not dead, and he comes, and he doesn't come, he's not a zombie, but they fly him back, and then he starts to, because he's so damaged by the war, starts to believe that Jake Gyllenhaal and Natalie Portman are having an affair, which they are, and it's just like the disintegration of everything around them. But it's a damn good movie. Really, really good performances. Brooklyn's Finest, directed by Antoine Fuqua, I believe, right? Yes. He did Training Day. He pretty much directs these movies in his sleep. They're kind of the same. This was, I mean, uneventful. I mean, it's something it's pretty forgettable. The ending's pretty cool, though. I like how it doesn't go down an obvious route where you think everyone's going to survive and everything. Like, they do kill off some characters, and that's pretty cool. I like that about movies when it's not completely, you don't know the ending when you start watching it. But it's a pretty routine cop and gangster thriller. Which, I mean, it's not too bad. Like I said, really good performances, great cast. You got Richard Gere, Don Cheadle, Wesley Snipes, Ethan Hawke. Good movie. Not a great movie, but it's all right. In my opinion, one of the best films of 2010. So very little seat. It was buried. This movie, I was literally, like, when people say on the edge of the seat, I very get that way, but towards the end of the movie, I was literally fucking on my edge of my seat, just waiting to see what was happening. Literally takes place in a coffin, does not show a single exterior shot, anything, doesn't cut away to anybody. There are other characters who he talks to on the phone, but does not show them, which is a great, great technique, because it lets your mind do all this different stuff. An awesome performance from Ryan Reynolds. It sucks that he had a shitty year last year with Green Lantern underperforming and the Change-Up underperforming. I didn't think the Change-Up was that bad, actually, but I like Ryan Reynolds quite a bit, and but this was a really good performance for him, and an awesome movie. Just, I mean, it's small, very, very minuscule in its scale, but it's so good. It's so tense. It's so well acted. It's a must-see. You have to watch it. Speaking of watching movies, I haven't even fucking seen this movie yet. I'm a huge Martin Scorsese fan. I think I've seen almost every other film he's ever done, and probably have most of his other films, either on DVD or Blu Ray. I have not seen this yet. I have to watch it. Please don't punch me in the face. It's Cape Fear. I know this is a remake of, obviously, the original Cape Fear. I haven't seen that one. I know what it's about. I know that it's about Nick Nolte and being De Niro's lawyer. I believe, please don't punch me, but I love De Niro and Scorsese together. I'm really looking forward to see this. I have to just take some time to see it. Like this summer, when school's out and I'll be able to just work, I'll have so much time because I go to school actually go to school to make movies, video production. I'm excited about that shit. I like that stuff. So I go to NESCOM. So I got to watch this summer when I have time. I don't have any time right now. It's like I buy these movies in hopes that this summer I'll be able to watch them all, but I still haven't seen Cape Fear. I got it. In my opinion, I think this was the best comic book movie last year. Maybe. Thor was pretty good. We don't have to talk about Green Lantern. X-Men was pretty good. You know, to be honest, they weren't a bad year last year for comic book movies. There was, in my opinion, too many of them, though. I'm not a huge comic book guy. Don't hurt me. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy them. But these big action movies like this and like the Transformers movies, I love watching in theaters. And then I'll probably watch them once, and then I'll go like 5 years without seeing him again. I don't know what it is about him, but I just can't sit down and watch him over and over. But either way, Captain America, it's got some really cool production design. It was directed by Joe Johnston, who did like Jurassic Park 3 and a bunch of, fuck, can't I think of the other movies? Oh, people are going to punch me right in the mouth. Right in the mouth. Did he do Gremlins? I don't know. Please don't slit my face open. And I just watched Silence of the Lambs. That's why I made that reference. I don't talk like that. But yeah, it's got some pretty cool. And the other thing, like his outfit here is so badass. That's so badass. Why must they fuck it up with the Avengers trailer? Either way, I'm looking forward to the Avengers. Let's hope it's pretty good. But I did like that one. Casino, just speaking of Scorsese and De Niro, a 3-hour epic of Vegas. It's got some pretty brutal scenes. I love it. Joe Pesci. It's so cool that Joe Pesci can be a badass, because in real life, if he wasn't an actor and didn't make millions, you'd be like, that guy's a fucking, I could beat the shit out of him. But him and Goodfellas and shit, it's so cool that Martin Scorsese could take a guy like Joe Pesci and just make him into this fucking scary-ass mobster. I love that about it. But this was a really good movie, really well acted all the way around. It's long, but it's worth it. Watch it through. I mentioned this earlier. It's The Change-Up. I love Jason Bateman. He's one of the funniest guys working, in my opinion. And Ryan Reynolds has this weird, charming ability that I really like to him. This is so juvenile, so crass, so rude, so raunchy, but I laughed. That's all I can put it as. I laughed. I did. It's got some corny moments here and there. It's terribly edited, though. I watched this, if you watch this, you can see their mouths moving when they're not. You can see some bad ADR. It's kind of terribly edited, but I laughed out loud. There's some moments you're like, I can't believe they actually just did that. Like I said, it's literally low brow humor. So, if you're into sophisticated comedy, do not watch this. But like I said, I laughed. I did. It's one of those guilty pleasures. A lot of people hated this movie. I thought it was fun. I laughed. That's all I can say. I'm a huge, huge fan of Kevin Smith. He's, in my opinion, one of my favorite comedic directors of all time. And Chasing Amy is it's like either my number one or my number two. I have every single one of his movies. I love Kevin Smith. I do. I think he's a brilliant director and writer. And I love Chasing Amy. It's so simple, but it's such a believable romance. This was Ben Affleck, Jason Lee, who I love. I really think he should be in better movies, not Alvin and the Chipmunks. Fucking Alvin and the Chipmunks. But this was basically he falls in love with Joey Lauren Adams. I believe you heard her name, right? Yeah. And but she's a lesbian. It's just, it's such a simple concept, but it's played so truthfully and so well written and stuff that it's really a really good movie. Definitely check it out. This was one that Danielle bought. She buys a lot of movies, which I love that about her, that she likes movies just as much as I do. But some of them I'm like, eh. But this one won Best Picture. I haven't seen it since it came out. I remember just because it was a musical, I didn't think it was of that much. But now that I've become a more sophisticated moviegoer, I think I should rewatch it because I don't mind some musicals. They're just probably my least favorite genre. But it's Chicago, Richard Gere, Renee Zellweger, Catherine Zeta-Jones, who looks fucking gorgeous on this front cover. Yeah, I gotta rewatch it. I really do. Children of Men, a really damn good movie. Yeah, sure. Just a cool concept, very cool execution. It's got some really long shots. I think there's one in there that lasts like a minute and a half, but it's fucking brilliant. It goes in and out of a car and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really inventive, and like I said, but it's not really a feel-good movie, that's for sure. But it's a cool science fiction movie. I love it. Okay. Speaking of movies that are really well done and really, really good, Clash of the Titans. No, you're right. Clash of the Titans is a big, steaming pile of shit. This was one, I either was given it, or maybe Danielle got it. I can't remember. Either way, I had no part in purchasing this movie. Don't beat me up. I saw the trailer for Wrath of the Titans. It opened this weekend, actually, for whenever this gets watched. And it looks better than this, but like I said, that's not saying much. I like Sam Worthington. I was just really bored through the whole fucking thing. And I wouldn't be against watching Wrath of the Titans. It's just, I'll never watch this again, so whatever. Back to my love of Kevin Smith comes Clerks and Clerks 2. I've had Clerks like 10 goddamn times. Have it on the big DVD, bulky, like the Clerks X 10th Anniversary Edition. This is the 15th Anniversary Edition, and they released this. But the cool thing is that he put on the making of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And he actually did this whole monologue on why he only would put this out if they let him put more stuff on the DVD or Blu-ray, but because they had exhausted all materials from the Clerks archive that they just put on Jay and Silent Bob. So I like that. I love Clerks 2. In my opinion, I actually think Clerks 2 is a better film than Clerks. I mean, obviously, because he started out and it's all black and white and kind of shitty looking. But either way, this is a movie that doesn't need to be on Blu-ray. It really looks like shit, but it's funny. I like them. I like them both. This is a great companion piece and an end to the Askew-universe. Those people who know Kevin Smith will get that. Stanley Kubrick's The Clockwork Orange. This was a fucked up movie. I like Stanley Kubrick stuff. I do. And this is probably my favorite film of his. Just some great visuals, beautiful imagery. It's just fucking psychotic. And I love that about it. So uninhibited and unrestrained, and it goes for the fucking throat. I can't imagine anyone not seeing this or at least hearing about it. But it looks good on Blu-ray too. It's a pretty damn good transfer. I haven't put this in on Blu-ray yet. I'm excited to. I gotta take an afternoon and do that. It's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This was $10 at Best Buy. Look at this beauty. Look at this. It's 3 discs, like the theatrical director's cut and then an extended cut or something like that. It's a beautiful set, beautiful. $10 at Best Buy, and it's hard. You hear that? That's hard. But this was an amazing movie. I gotta watch it again. I haven't seen it in a while, but what can you say? Close Encounters. Like I said, I can't say too much about the PQ. I've heard really good things about it. I gotta watch it. This was like $6.99 when the Oscars were on. They had a bunch of Oscar-nominated movies up for previous Oscar-nominated movies that were really cheap, so I bought this. It's Cold Mountain. Really good, epic movie. Has some really... It's kind of just these smaller stories that are part of a big story. It's just like these cool little interactions between characters. The best one, in my opinion, is Jude Law and Natalie Portman towards the end of the film. I love that scene. But yeah, a good movie. Cold Mountain. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Anthony Minghella, he directed it. This movie was seen by so few people. I heard they might be getting a sequel for it. I saw this the day after my birthday, and it was like by accident. I went to go see something else, but it was sold out. It was like a 9:45 showing of something, and I was like, all right, well, I'll go get to see tickets to this. I'd seen the preview for it, but wasn't thinking much. It's The Collector. If you haven't seen this movie, seek it out. It's pretty damn cool. It's pretty much like Saw in one house with like a couple characters. Basically, this guy goes to break into this house to get a jewel so that he can pay off his mob's debt to a loan shark or whatever. But when he's in there, he realizes that someone else is already in there doing terrible shit to the family, and the guy who originally breaks in becomes the hero in the end. But it's fucking brutal. It's decently acted. I mean, the lead is pretty good. Everyone else is okay. But and there's some pretty damn brutal shit that happens in this movie. And it's not so, like, twisty and turny that you can't follow it like a goddamn Saw movie. Like, by the end, you're just like, this is so stupid. I like the first 3 Saw movies. I'll say that right now, though. I did like the first 3, and then they started shit. But either way, it's got some pretty cool visuals. It's by the same guys who did the Saw, well, like, the shitty Saws. From the writers of Saw 4, 5, and 6. Do you really want that? That's probably what didn't sell copies right there. You're like, okay, awesome. I'll go see that. Fuck you. But either way, just check it out. You might not like it. It might not be for you. But this was one of those movies that I talked about to people and they didn't even know it existed. So check it out. Either way, that's my end of shelf number 2. I'll come back and do number 3 sometime soon. Take care, guys. Have a good one.